Morning, guys. Tom here, Anchorage, Alaska, 11/9/25. So today marks the 2 year clean mark for me being clean and sober. So I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of my testimony today and what brought me to Jesus Christ and my salvation. So I was born in California. Parents divorced when I was real young, and saw an abundance of stuff in my early years that was definitely not good. Right, moved up here to live with my dad when I was five or so, and grew up in Spenard, a pretty rough neighborhood for Anchorage, and so everything I endured, everything you could imagine, I endured as a child, mentally, physically, emotionally, sexual. All this trauma I endured as a child, not by my immediate family, but anyways, led to these lies that Satan was using the whole time to shape who I was, right? Or who I thought I was. So fast forward the years, begin skateboarding at an adolescent, sponsored by the local skate shop. Introduced to alcohol and marijuana at a young age. Found my acceptance through these things, and through skateboarding, I developed a passion for, and learned a lot of dedication and persistence through skateboarding, right? That were good foundations for me to use positively as I would grow up. But things would just get progressively worse, into my addiction. And when I was a teenager, I started seeing an abundance of death that I was just not prepared for, and that was really hard for me to face. My grandparents both died really close to each other in the same amount of time. My friend Charlie Burke died in a fiery car crash. Charlie Estrada also died in a swimming pool. Pretty sure alcohol was involved. And my friend Todd got stabbed by his own brother over a $12 bottle of vodka. And my friend Dustin overdosed in his sleep, and then his brother accidentally shot himself in the face. So I just started seeing all this trauma in my life that I was just so unprepared for, right? And also at the same amount of time, like when I was reaching out, liking girls and stuff at a young age, I was rejected by the first few females in my life. So it solidified in my life, like, a thought in my mind that I was not good enough, that I was not handsome enough, I was not boyfriend material, or whatever the case may be. But so my addictions would get progressively worse, into starting with drugs and alcohol, or marijuana and alcohol, to mushrooms and acid and ecstasy and cocaine, then crack, then heroin eventually, and everything that come with heroin, methamphetamine. And so all this stuff just got progressively worse, and which, with every new level of addiction, mirrored like a new low of rock bottom. And I was not able to get out of it. I was in the grips, right? So fast forward a few years, I'm trying to do better for myself, and I'm attending UAA, the University of Anchorage, Alaska, and for business management. And then my brother and I get violently stabbed in a fight, that just by these kids that just tried to pick a fight. And anyway, victims of violent crimes came and saw me in the hospital, and I was I received painkillers. So introduction of opiates in my life about 2006, and then what came with opiates, I had about 12 grand in the bank, and then I spent all the money when the insurance was out. I spent all the money on Oxycontins. And when the money was ran out, the people I had met were introduced me to heroin. So opiates in my life were what I thought completed me at the time, right? So introduction to opiates introduced criminal activity. I resorted to theft, and then come the criminal charges, right? So over the years, about a 18-year period, 19-year period of me being in a full-on addict resulted in about 15 years of me being in and out of prison, racking up felony charges and countless convictions, in and out of doors. 6 treatment centers. I overdosed more times than I care to admit. And I could not get out of this, right? And this accumulated on 11/9/2023. I started selling drugs. And me and a good friend of mine, we were in an accident after we eluded police, and where I should have died. My left leg was crushed and my right arm was broke, compound fracture, and I woke up in the hospital. I don't remember it much, but and I was still being a knucklehead, like in the hospital. Like, anyway, ended up going to prison, and I'm facing charges. They're telling me, I'm already presumped many years because I'm a multiple felon already. So I end up meeting this gentleman in prison who never before in my life I had heard somebody speak about Jesus the way this guy spoke about Jesus. Still one of my best friends today. And so I open up the Bible for the first real time in my life and start searching the scriptures and start letting Jesus really work in my life. And I'm sharing the love of the gospel in a profoundly negative place. I'm attending all these programs. I'm going to classes. I'm doing Bible studies. I'm really searching the scriptures and letting Jesus work in my life. And it wasn't overnight. It wasn't like a light switch or anything. But I used to tell myself, and I remembered while I was in prison, I used to tell myself that all this persistence and dedication that I learned in skateboarding, that I was using while I was still in darkness as a means to go get my issues. Like, I would walk across town and I would hitchhike, towns over, and I would do all this stuff in the middle of winter, living in a tent in the wintertime, and living in laundry rooms, and just all this persistence and dedication that I learned in skateboarding, I was applying to get my drugs and alcohol and to get my fixes. And I used to tell myself that if I could use this in the grips of addiction, I used to tell myself, if I could use this persistence and dedication I am using to get these drugs for something positive, man, I would really be doing good for myself. I used to tell myself that. And I remembered that when I was in prison and learning the love of Jesus. And what is more positive than the love of Jesus, right? So I'm really starting to allow Jesus to work in my life, and he just started changing me, from the music I listened to, the way I behaved, the way I was spiritually aware of what I'm allowing in my system, showing the love of Christ to others and not judging. All these things were just, my spiritual eyes were open, right? And it absolutely changed my life. And this right here, so this is my prison picture. And as you can see, 11/9/23. So today I am 2 years clean and sober. And it is all because of Jesus. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, that Jesus absolutely saves. He transforms. He is the Alpha and Omega. He is a Redeemer. The Lord of Lords, man. He is my Savior, man, and He has absolutely changed my life. So if you have anybody in the grips of addiction, just be patient with them. And I just wanted to share that with you guys today. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.